performed services as stipulated in the contract. KPMG's investigation found that the GRA had introduced external price verification tools as part of ICOMS among its other functions. This renders the reliance on SML for external price verification redundant. 3. There is a clear need for the downstream petroleum audit services provided by SML. GRA and the state have benefited from these services since SML commenced providing them. There has been an increase in volumes of 1.7 billion liters and an increase in tax revenue to the state of 2.45 billion Ghana cedis. KPMG also observed that there were quantitative benefits, including a 24/7 electronic real-time monitoring of outflow and partial monitoring of inflows of petroleum products at depots where SML had installed flow meters and 6 levels of reconciliation done by SML. This minimizes the occurrence of under-declarations. However, it is important to review the contract for downstream petroleum audit services, particularly the fee structure, given the experience and proficiency of SML over the last 4 years of providing this service. The President has directed that the fee structure be changed from a variable to a fixed fee structure. Other provisions of the contract worth reviewing, including clauses on intellectual property rights, termination, and service delivery expectations. 4. SML's performance in any renegotiated contracts should be monitored and evaluated periodically to ensure that it meets expectations. Any renegotiated contract should be compliant with Section 33 of the PFMA. The Ministry of Finance and the Ghana Revenue Authority are to give effect to the above directives of the President immediately and provide the Office of the President with an update on the steps taken. The President has extended his sincere gratitude to KPMG for the thorough nature of the audit conducted. Duke Mensah Opoku is my colleague, parliamentary correspondent. He joins me in studio with my colleague Helen Apia Ampofo. Duke, good morning. Welcome.
Good morning.
Finally.
Yeah, it's here.
It's here.
Yeah.
It's taking some time though, but does this settle the dust, the directives by the President?
Partially. To me, I would say it settles it. It settles it partially. Let's start from the positives. For me, it's good that, number one, we have some figures to work with. Because when this whole scandal broke out, there were, double figures, duplication of figures. How much were the people earning? How much were they not earning? How much was due them? How much did we pay them? Per this report, what has been released by the President, what we have here is that they earned over 1 billion Ghana cedis.
That's correct.
1 billion Ghana cedis and some coins, for doing this work. Number two, that within that 5-year period, we're going to earn over 5 billion cedis, which means that per the averages is 1 billion per year. All right. Now, this for me raises even very, very serious questions, because from this same report, right, SML is actually supposed to have done only 1 out of 3 of its duties. 1 out of 3, because the upstream and mining has not started. So because of the President says, don't go there at all.
The services are redundant at this point.
So don't go there. Second, the transaction audit and the external price reviewing. We're told that we got only partial value or partial benefit for it, and that's what they are supposed to do. GRA, as part of the ICOMS agreement, is already doing that. So duplication of functions right there. And then the last one, which is supposed to have been their trump card, according to the report, helping the country earn over 2.5 billion Ghana cedis more in terms of revenue from that. Even with that, there are questions with procurement and with the variable, with the fee structure. How do we enter an agreement and say that we are not paying you a fixed amount, but we are paying you based on on prevailing factors?
And that's not good. That's to our disadvantage.
Per KPMG, that is not the industry standard.
Yeah.
Get into agreement and have a fixed structure. So for me, it's good that all of these issues have been unearthed.
So if today you come and say it's 1 million, tomorrow you come and say it's 1.3, tomorrow next you come and say it's 1.15.
And it's just like the Ghanaian, it will be like the Ghanaian economy. The price of nothing comes down.
Yeah.
Every time
it keeps going up.
It keeps going up.
There's
every
always an
businessman,
excuse to shoot up the price.
So what would be the justification for such a clause in a very, very important revenue assurance contract for our country?
So the bottom line is that we will not stop engaging SML.
No, SML will do one out of the 3 things that they are doing.
Okay.
And but just that with the one that they are going to continue to do, the conditions have now been tightened, and the president is saying they should effectively monitor them.
But then there are those who say, look, we have had enough of SML. Let them go already, because if ICOMS and GRA are doing what one
out of the 3,
and then the other part has also not begun, so we actually do not require services there. Really, are we suggesting that GRA cannot on its own perform this function?
Johnny, you know this. I'm not an industry person.
Right,
I don't have a background
as
in
both
financial services consulting or that kind of thing. But why is it that all of a sudden this revenue assurance thing has gained? It's like it's in vogue now.
Yeah.
Telco sector, Telni GVG.
Yeah.
This one,
Crown
Associates. This one, SML. Everything we want to do revenue assurance. Can we not build the capacity of the GRA to be able to do its own revenue assurance?
Sometimes you go behind and you find the names involved, and then you sit back, you slouch in your chairs.
Because this man,
even this point 3, I don't even know if this one out of the 3 function is even, when we get to the bottom of it, is even needed.
Tomorrow we'll dissect this.
Because even this increase of some 2.4 billion to the state, players in the sector tell you that several other factors are accounting for this increased revenue, and it's not just based on SML. When you get into the nitty gritty, you'll find that even if you had removed SML from the equation, the state could have still raked in that 2.4 without SML.
So one of the findings that KPMG did is that no technical needs assessment was done prior to the engagement of SML.
So the question you ask is, on what basis were they engaged?
And then KPMG adds that, it was not legally binding for them to have done it. But it was not done. If I'm engaging you as my dressmaker or as my tailor, I need to do a technical assessment of you, whether you know how to, operate the machine, cut the fabric, and piece it together. But that was not done in the case of SML.
And we still went ahead with SML without assessing that technical needs. When we know that in that space, what you're doing is a duplication of efforts. I want to see KPMG report.
You want to see the full report.
I want to see.
You don't want to see the president's white paper.
The language in this release is euphemistic. I'm telling you now.
Madam, take your time.
The language has been dressed up nicely. I need to see the KPMG
you mean
report.
Sugar-coated
It has been sugar-coated. Trust me on this. Based on what we're reading today, if we have the full report, you'll see something that will make you want to close your eyes.
So the president should release the report.
Release the report. Release the actual report.
Or Helen will file an RTI request.
And then
file an RTI request for the.
We are calling on you, Mr. President.
Show us
Please,
the report.
Show us the report. Duke, I thank you very much indeed for your time. Helen, as well. President Jemu.